Hello everyone, I'm your host Tim Green and welcome to my immigration story. Today I have with us Nidhi Mehta. Nidhi, how are you?
I'm good, Tim. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for calling me.
Of course. What brought you to America?
So I was born and raised in India. A guy, my husband, he used to work in US. So basically the Indian company called him for a work here in the United States for one particular project, and they gave him the H1 visa status, and that way he can bring the spouse over. So he came to India, we just met through common family friend, we got married, and here I am.
Okay. Did you get married in India or in the US?
So I got married in India, yes, and then we came together as a couple.
Okay. Did you face any challenges getting your own visa and getting over here when you were?
So for visa saying, because he was on H1, so when you are on H1 visa, there's always, you can bring your spouse on H4. That's the status I was on. The only drawback about the H4 visas are, you are dependent on your husband or spouse. The reason is, you cannot work. And that was the biggest challenge what I faced for initial years. And then everything got changed afterwards.
Okay. How did you go about getting a visa where you were able to work?
So at that time when I came in, I wasn't working, but I was seeing all the options, like how in future, just in case my visa changes, how can I work? And then I found out a couple of things like studying. You can study while you are on H4. That's what I pursued. And later on, I think Obama or Michelle Obama passed one law where if you stay in United States and your husband has I-140 clear, you get the H4 EAD, and that's kind of like a work authorization. You get it, and that's the way I started working.
Okay. And you're a teacher, correct?
Back in India, I was a teacher, and here also I'm a teacher, yes.
Okay. Did you have any struggles getting a visa or, being able to teach with?
I would say no. My journey was super seamless. The only difficult part was when the people, especially who have worked in other country, when they work there, it's kind of like easy process in other countries, but once you come here, you need to get your certification. And that certification, it's kind of tricky, especially because it's very individualized process, where if I say you have to go in certain way, but it's not going to be the same thing for you, because you have to give different exams to clear your certification. So initial there was a hurdle, but at the same time the Department of Education, they are super helpful. If you call them, they will take your time, they will give you proper guidance, and that's the way. It was kind of like hurdle, but at the same time easy process for me.
Okay. Did you study in the US? Or?
So I did study, I gave my exams, and then it's kind of like it took me a year and a half to get my license. And as soon as I got my license, my job was like around the corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was easy.
And what did you study?
So back in India, I was a visual art teacher. Here again, I finished my licensing in the visual art, and right now I've started my journey from middle school visual art teacher, where I was teaching pretty much like a 2D and 3D related art activities. But as I progressed, and I am right now as I mentioned, I am in high school, I'm doing 2D, 3D, there's a woodworking, there is a filigree, there's a lot many different art categories that I'm working on right now.
This is at the school you teach all these?
Yes, wow. 90%, yeah, the year-round syllabus, I follow the Massachusetts standard curriculum, but in there I try and modify as much as I can. So
okay. And so looking at some of the things you've done, I noticed that you do some personal art on your own as well, right?
Correct.
Looking at what you brought today, obviously. It's funny, my mom actually follows you on Instagram.
Oh,
I saw it today when I was going through all your bio and everything, which is pretty funny.
So that could be, I have the explanation for that.
Yeah.
So I go to Mansfield and Foxborough public libraries, and I host a show where all the people can come, and then they sign up, and it's kind of like a different artwork for a month, and it's based on theme. And we did like glass painting few months ago. We did the charcoal, we did the pencil. So maybe I might have stumbled upon one time with her, but it's such a nice world, right? It's very small, where you don't know.
It is.
Like us.
It is.
Yeah.
What difficulties do you see people of Indian background and things like that have you seen trying to come to the U.S. and things like that?
So I can just speak for myself.
Okay.
My journey was super seamless.
Okay.
But obviously there are certain categories or the types, they might have to wait longer because some of the country, like such as India, has a longer wait line for getting either the visas or maybe once they are approved to come to US or to change the visa status. That
Okay.
could be one of the thing I feel that can be hurdle for some people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you miss most about India?
So Tim, that's very funny. It's been like, I don't know, over a decade I'm
Right.
here. It's
Right.
nothing, my family, I miss them, but we do go every year frequently. We meet them. So, you know, kind of like it's a mixed bag of, I don't miss it, but at the same time, because I born and raised there, I would love to visit every year.
Right.
And me and my husband are making it sure for our kids.
That's great you're able
Yeah.
to go back like that. And how long do you usually go for?
When I go, so because I work in school, I have like 2 months of break. So generally this is the time, June and July is the best time where we can stay longer, and the ticket pricing are always skyrocketed, but we can take the most advantage during these 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that growing up in India has influenced your art at all?
I would say my philosophy is a mix of Indian and Western culture, and that's what you see in my work, that I can incorporate those components to the US standard, and that's like a nice amalgamation of those two countries and colliding into nice work. So I would say that's definitely benefiting me many ways.
Okay. What would you say is your favorite style of artwork? Is it the
I am a mixed media artist.
Okay.
I love when I touch and feel, and also when I see the work, I am more drawn towards the more like 3D structures.
Okay.
So that's my favorite style, and I love to teach that.
Okay. Is there anywhere people could see your art hanging or anything like that?
Yes, so you can see my work. It's there is an Instagram page. It's called Art with Mehta.
Okay.
And that way you can go and you can also see my work plus my students' work. That what we do in the school, and you can get all the glimpse in it.
Okay. Do you offer any services for if somebody wanted to reach out to you to do something on their own?
Perfect. So this is a very good question. On my page, you will see in my bio, I do multiple things like over the weekend, if there is somebody's birthday party, I go and do a paint party.
Oh, wow.
I do extra art sessions. If you want to learn particular thing, I do like one-on-one, like a private session on Zoom or in person. So I'm flexible and open to many things.
Wow, that's great. That's great. People can hire you out to
You never know.
Yep. learn the medium.
Correct.
That's great.
And I do also many commissions, so you will see on my page everything.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite one that you've done?
So on my Instagram page, there's I think first, second, or maybe third. If you go to, I'm holding a Buddha. Buddha is mainly the symbol of my friend made a house, and she wanted a Zen place where she can go and meditate. And I thought about a Buddha. So it's kind of like a sleeping Buddha frame, and that has a 3D element, so you can touch and feel. And it's 30 by 50, I guess.
Oh, wow.
So that particular piece is very near and dear to my heart because it took me a good amount of time. But once they got it, they were so happy, and they love to sit in that room and do their meditation all the time. So yeah, that's something, I would love to do it, like if anybody is open to it.
I'm sure. That's great. What would you say is your proudest achievement since arriving in America?
I would say I have learned many things once I came back to this country. Initially, there was a lot of things like finding the right food to getting the right clothes and the styling, and there are vast variety as compared to India, because in India when you go, the shops are smaller, and once you go, there is always a services like they will show you what is good for you. And here, to find every single thing from different aisle, it's kind of like a challenging and at the same time very guided curve for me, where I have to self-taught myself so many things. I have to undo what I have learned, and I have to start fresh. So it's a challenging, but it's very rewarding.
Okay.
Because I've grown as a person, I've grown as a individual identity, that I know many things now than I was when I came first.
Culturally, what do you think are the biggest differences between India and
the
US?
United States?
Yeah.
I would say there is a very vast Indian community around here, especially in Foxborough. We have a temple where I live right now. It's like a very big Indian community. So as such, if I compare, I don't think so anything is missing out in this country for me. The only thing which I miss is my family. But again, they have their visas and they always travel frequently, at least like maybe once in a 2 years. So that's something I always look forward to. But if I'm missing something, I would say not really.
Not really. Okay.
Not really.
That's great.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful dress on. What's that called?
So the dress what I'm wearing, it's called Punjabi dress. In my culture, people wear saris, but I thought sari would be too much. So I just substituted with the Punjabi dress where there is a top and there is a bottom. And my shoes is called mojari. It has, as you can see, it has a tiny embellishment of the beads, and this represent me like this particular dresses you will see all over in India.
Okay. Do the men wear something similar, or is it?
So men has
maybe not a dress as
yeah,
much. Yeah,
men mostly they wear for the work and all. They are wearing the pants and the top, but at the same time, when there is a traditional outfit, if you talk about, the men has similar kind of thing. It's called kurta. And they also have the bottom, something like mine, but more on a narrower side. So my husband and my kids do wear it on when we have a special occasion like Diwali, if we are going to the temple, or if there is any ceremony like related to the goddess, we always do and make wear that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you find that religion's as big of a deal in the United States as it is in India?
I would say it's up to you, person to person. Religion is something me and my family, if I talk about, we believe in God, and we do every single day. Our day start with lighting a candle next to the God. We pray and then we leave the house. So that's one thing we are super consistent and we try to incorporate. But again, it's open. If my kids are kind of like, like they are out somewhere, and if they skip, that's completely okay.
Okay. Is there any Indian food that you miss being in the United States? Or do you find that we have plenty of options?
Oh my God, no, I don't miss anything, because here it's like every street or the corner or every town has something or other to offer. And especially that's so funny, like at my work I have so many colleagues who are always asking me the recommendation, what Indian food places to go and what to eat and this and that. So I would say we in the United States, especially in Massachusetts, we have every single thing. So I don't miss, but at the same time, once I go to New Jersey, there is a Indian street where you see the restaurants are just like left and right, and they have much more variety. So when we go to New Jersey, it's just like a food trip from morning to evening. We just eat, and then we come back. So it's kind of like mini India for us to go to New Jersey.
That's very funny. You brought a beautiful piece of art. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about it?
Sure. So this is a very interesting piece. First of all, it's an Indian goddess, and the name is Ganesha. So during pandemic, when I was home and I was doing online schooling where I had a couple of hours to myself. So during that time, I thought about, like, this was the style I learned in India and I was pursuing there, but then I stopped. The reason being, this particular artwork, if you zoom closely, it's not drawing, it's not color, it's a paper. Every single strip first you cut, you roll it in such a way, and then you put it together where it looks like a single piece, but it's not, it's a paper and it's 3D. If I open it, you can definitely, like, you can touch it and you can feel it. And this particular piece took me almost 6 to 8 months and total of 120 to 180 hours. But that was something like during pandemic when people were home and not doing anything, this was something kept my sanity on, because I was so busy when people are like thinking about, can I cook? Can I do that? And I was like, I am busy with my rolling papers. And this is one of the pieces. But in future, if I have to do it, I really have to think it twice.
Yeah,
it took me
it's
really
beautiful.
long time. Thank you so much.
Was there any cultural shock coming to America opposed to being in India?
I would say right now, after a decade, I would say no. But when I initially came, very first year, when I saw everything was so different, and Going to the temple was again not the same feeling. So there was definitely many cultural shock. I felt it. From wearing the clothes to going to the places to talking certain way to finding things. Yes, because I was in my 20s, never been out of the country, and this was like back to directly from 7 continents across far, and I'm here. So initially there was a struggle, but yeah, I got into it. Like, you know, it was easy go afterwards.
It was easy after.
Yeah.
How long would you say it took to really assimilate yourself into the culture?
I would say roughly 6 months. As soon as I started working, my first job was in the subway, which is the next door here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was my first job. So at that time, I just got the hang of it, because in India, when we talk English, we just go super fast, like back to back. And when I was talking, the one thing I saw is people were like, what are you saying? Because I was going so fast. And as soon as I started working, I got it. Like, I have to slow it down. I understand how to talk, but I'm going so fast that other people are not getting it. So that job really helped me push my boundaries, and I understood the right way of saying things, the right way of talking, so other people get it, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and that might be a good lesson for some of the immigrants maybe watching
Correct.
the show.
Yeah,
Is, you know,
I
even a
would-
job like working at Subway or something like that can help you with your skills. Just
I
when
would
you-
say 100%. If you go to any public relationship job, when you are talking to the audience right away, you will come to know how fast you are going, how slow you are going. People are able to understand you. What changes you can make it on a daily basis to change your language, the accent. There are multiple things comes in place, but that is something you should always, like, because people, when you have certain skill set, you are always like, why would I do this job? But no, this is going to make you go to the end goal, and that way the life is going to be more easier. So definitely open for all the avenues out there, and that can help you grow.
Yeah, that's a great lesson.
Yeah.
Is there any message that you would like to share with our viewers about your immigration experience?
I would say only one thing. If you are coming from India or any other country, and if you are on a dependent visa like I was, please look for the avenues, like you can study further. So by the time your visa status changes, you have enough time, or you have done your, if you talk about like masters, that's what I am doing right now. I'm doing my double masters. So I sometimes regret that I had the chance. I did not finish it. If I would have finished it, I would have been like on a different pathway right now. So that way, please start studying.
Continuing
check out
education.
Education is the key to grow. And then once you start working, that can help you get where you want. Once you are on dependent visa, that don't think you can study. You can study, and you can pursue what you are planning to do in future.
Okay, so continuing education would
Continue
be
education. Don't sit and just relax for the visas to come in. Yeah.
right. So once you get the bachelor's,
Yes.
go for the master's. And
Something. Yes.
so, yeah,
Whatever is your end goal. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great advice. Is there anything else about your journey or thoughts about immigration that you'd like to share?
My journey for the immigration part, as I said multiple times, my journey was kind of easy due to my husband, because he was working here. The company was sponsoring the visas. So we had to just go for the stamping, and then once we are back, we are good to go for 3 years. So, but I have seen other people when they are on different status, like F1, that is for the education visa. There are other types as well. They are facing really difficulty for getting either the stamping done, or they have to move out of the country to get that thing done. If there is a way to get it faster, that can benefit other people. So that is something definitely the immigration people can, fast-paced it. So that can leave the hurdle for the people who are waiting and struggling in their current life.
Do you have a message in your native language that you would like to say?
So in my native language, I speak dual language, so Hindi and Gujarati, but Gujarati is the prime language that we speak at home. So in my language, I would say, अगर अमेरिका आवो छो तो जरा पण डरो नहीं. જેવા તમે અહીંયા પહોંચો છો, તમે તમારું અગર H4 વિઝા પર છો તો તમે તમારું ભણવાનું ચાલુ રાખો, અને જેવું તમારું એ પતશે અને વિઝા સ્ટેટસ ચેન્જ થશે તો તમે તમારી રીતે કામ કરી શકશો. એન્ડ એટ ધ સેમ ટાઈમ જે ઇન્ડિયાથી ફિયર લઈને બધા આવતા હોય છે એ હવે એવું કંઈ રહ્યું નથી. અહીંયા બધું જ છે. આજુબાજુ ટેમ્પલ લઈ લો કે પછી ખાવાની પ્લેસ લઈ લો કે ફરવાની જગ્યા લઈ લો, બહુ જ સારી રીતે તમે અહીંયા ધડાઈ જશો અને તમને મજા પણ આવશે.
Okay, what do you mind explaining that a little?
Yes, 100%. So first thing what I said is, as I repeated, once you are coming to this country, if you are on H1, H4, don't be worried, but you can start studying during that time while you are waiting for your visa. That's what the first part I said. And the second part is, because back in India there are little different mindsets about coming to India, coming from India to US, that once you go you have too much work to do, or the life is I don't know, very, because back in India you have like servants and they do your job. So once you come here, don't worry, life is easy. You just have to plan your things.
Okay.
That's it.
That's a great message. Thank you for watching My Immigration Story. My name is Tim Green. Please visit our website at fcatv.org. And thank you for watching.